Hi guys, welcome back to Origami Twist. Today's video is an adorable origami paper dress, and it is made out of one single square of paper. Ideally the lighter weight paper the better. You can see when I used more cardstock type paper, it didn't handle the heaps of folding that you have to do. So I do recommend a lighter weight paper, something like printer paper, or this middle dress was made out of a sheet from the Recollections Fashionably Chic paper pad, 6x6. Whatever you've got available to you, but the lighter weight paper the better. Origami paper would be perfect for this. I love this little dress. I think it would be perfect for invitations or place settings, all sorts of things. So let's get to it. So you start with your 6" by 6" square sheet of paper and fold the paper in half like a book. You're then going to open it up again, and the two sides that are parallel with that middle crease are now going to fold into the middle. And with the paper still folded, you're going to flip it over. You have that center crease there, and what you're going to do is bring the two edges that have recently been folded into the middle, but only bring the center section into the middle. You're going to have that outside flap sort of stick out. So bring the fold into the fold, essentially, rather than the edge. And you do the same thing here. Bring the fold into the fold and have that section stick out. So your paper should look like this. Okay. Now with all of those creased really well, you're now going to turn your paper over and fold the short end up to the opposite short end and crease. We're now going to prep the little lapels of the dress, and we're just going to fold the triangle back. You don't necessarily need to go all the way to that edge, but you could. I'd say just shy of that edge. And make sure you match up the bottom. Make the little flat lapels. Now we're going to bring the lapels down, and as we do, we're actually not going to unfold the fold. We're going to create a new fold about 1 centimeter above the original fold. So right about there, I'm going to fold that over. So from the side, this is what it looks like. A little zigzag, and what that will do is create the little waistband for your dress. Now before we turn the paper over to finish it off, we're just going to put in the pleats, and you do that by sticking your index finger under that top layer and on top of the place where it connects to the bottom. So not underneath the whole thing, but right into that little gap. You're then going to pinch it and pull apart, focusing on this point here and this bottom point here. And essentially you want to make a nice straight fold between there and there. And when you do that, when you press that all down, your paper is going to come off to the side, and you'll notice that it bubbles up a little bit here. You're going to do the same thing that you did down here and essentially press against it, and it will go exactly where it wants to go, which is exactly where you want it to go as well. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, so focusing on that center point and that bottom intersection and sticking your fingers in between the top two layers. You're going to fold back that bottom bit, paying attention to the top bit, and create a crease between the 2 points. And the same thing's happened here. It bubbled up a little bit, and again, just press against it to flatten it down, and you created the top pleats. Now turn your paper over, and we're going to do a fancy little thing to make the lapel work perfectly. And essentially you're going to bend your paper back where the V meets the rest of the paper and crease. And then you'll notice you've got, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, you've noticed you've got a little gap here. Essentially, what you're going to do is flatten out that gap. So when you open it up, like this, it sort of wants to go into a bit of a triangle shape, and you're actually going to let it do that. So create a triangle here. You want to try to keep the triangle the same shape as your original fold, but it doesn't matter too much. And do the same thing on the other side. Open up the gap and just try to turn that fold inside out. Again, it doesn't matter too much. Now we're going to fold the two sides into the middle to make a neater line and prepare the edge of the dress. So right where that crease is, just here, along the whole line, you're going to fold that top rectangle in along that crease. And when you do that, you'll notice that just like on the other side, part of the actual dress bubbles up a little bit. So the idea here is to get a fold with the corner of the paper. So while you're pressing with your right index finger into that pocket, you're then going to take your other hand and start to create a fold down at the bottom, right on the corner. And when you do that, as you're pressing against it here and pressing here, it again creates a little bubble, but it sort of starts to lay right where the finished line is. And all you have to do is make that crease. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold that top rectangle over, noticing the bubble, noticing that it's popped up a little bit, and then lay this down, focusing on that corner and your finger pushing against this top, your left index finger pushing against this top section here. Fold it down here, and then you notice that it starts to lay down flat. And as it does, you just create a crease, and you've created the final line for the dress. Now we're nearly finished. If you turn your paper over, you'll notice that most of it actually looks like a dress already. All you have to do is create these adorable little caps to sleeves. And the easiest way to do that is to just grab those tabs at the top and fold down until you're happy with the little sleeve, happy with the shape of it. This is up to your personal preferences. And then match it on the other side. And there you go. One paper dress, all ready for your birthday party, engagement party, sweet 16, 21st birthday. This has so many different applications. An 8-year-old's princess party, that would be a real fun one. You could even, a friend of mine did this with her, for her, I think she was 3 or 4 at the time. She made a garland to put on the wall and hung a string along them and then used tiny little clothespins to hang them up along the wall. I just thought that was a really clever idea. And there we go, adorable paper dresses. I hope you enjoyed that and make a whole bunch this weekend. Have a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you again on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.